So I wanted to try to do a video to just discussing spirituality, and I don't even like to use that word, even though I consider myself, spiritual, quote unquote. I'm uncomfortable using that word because I don't even know what it means, and I know other people must be uncomfortable when they hear the word because it almost, for some people, they hear that word and they react automatically like, "Oh no, this guy has a bunch of beliefs that he's going to try to um, assert that other people should believe." And in a way, I mean, I guess anybody could claim that about my motivations for posting these things. Um, there's a way to prove that's not the case, uh, because I guess all of my thoughts, everything I'm going to say about spirituality is going to be, you could call it my beliefs, and you could say that me saying it is me trying to get you to believe it. And I can't really deny that that's possible. I mean, you have to take that as it may be. But um, I wanted to talk about William James a little bit because I think if I wanted to try to define this word spirituality, not define it, but give it some context, I would have to say that it's about experience. It's just about being human. So spirituality is about being human. So that's why the word is so ambiguous. But just human experience, pure experience, before any of our separations and cultural uh, baggage gets attached to how we experience the world. There is this purity, this unity experience, and it's I think it's the same thing that mystics talk about. It's the same thing that Buddhists try to reach. It's Christ consciousness. It's every religion at its core is mystical in the sense that it's trying to get people to experience God or experience the truth, not know the truth, not be able to describe the truth and hand the truth out to everybody on a piece of paper, but to be able to experience the truth, to be one with the truth, and to know that you are one with the truth, with the universe, with whatever's happening. You are one with everything that is arising. And William James really was one of the first modern thinkers to try to cement this notion of pure experience. And so I'm just going to quote here. This is from that book, Songs of Experience by Martin J. James distinguishes between two sides of experience, objective and subjective. The objective part is the sum total of whatsoever at any given time we may be thinking of. The subjective part is the inner state in which the thinking comes to pass. Availing himself of the recently developed concept of the subliminal, transmarginal, or subconscious self, James concluded that we have in the fact that the conscious person is continuous with a wider self through which saving experiences come, in other words, religious experiences, a positive content of religious experience which, it seems to me, is literally and objectively true as far as it goes. So in that sense, I mean, James is a pragmatist, and that theory, or that situation, that perspective is based on Darwinism, really, natural selection. That not only is the simplest explanation the right one, but what works is what we should choose. And if religious experience transforms people, spiritual experience transforms people in a positive way that leads to, a more organized and loving community, and better general state of well-being for the individual and the society, which healthy religion tends to do that. It certainly seems more healthy than secularism or atheism, just for the general emotional well-being of the person. Atheists are definitely fun to debate with, but it seems like they're usually emotionally unhinged, and there's no, I mean, because if you're going to say that, if you're going to break up religion and science, science would be the thinking half, and religion would be the feeling half. And if you neglect the religious half of life and only focus on the rational, knowable, scientific parts, you're not accounting for your emotional half, and you're not feeling your way around the world, and you have that capability, and if you just repress that, it's going to sneak back in, the back door, and become your shadow, and it's gonna run your life because it's gonna control your fears. Here's a little more from Martin J. on William James. Its ultimate cause or explanation, James contended, was not amenable to human understanding. What was important was to provide a phenomenology of religious experience, not an explanation or an ontology of it. And I just read that on my own a few minutes ago, and that's what really made me want to make this video, was just that comment, that we need a phenomenology of religious experience. Because for me, that's what Buddhism is for me. And I think, quite honestly, I don't get to meditate that often. But sitting on the floor and trying to clear your mind isn't the only way to meditate. Just focusing on breathing. Whenever any situation you're in life, you just focus on the fact that you're breathing. I don't know what else to say about it other than just breathe. And, problems and stress and, all these ideas that you have about why you should be afraid of life and what's happening, sort of, they just melt away if you just focus on your breath. Focus on what it means that you're breathing. And then focus on what it means that you're seeing. Or not even necessarily what it means. You don't have to interpret it, just see. And then hear, when you're walking outside, hear the birds. The birds are chirping and you can hear it. All these things are happening. All your senses are flooded with these beautiful patterns. And you're aware of all of that. But at the purest level, where there's no awareness of anything, there's no aware being and then the world out there that it's aware of. At the pure level of experience, self and other, they merge. It's not even that they merge, it's that they recognize themselves as they are, as one. As different as each half may be, they recognize themselves in one another. And so it's not like this magical thing happens all of a sudden when you know that the self is the other. The world doesn't change. The world just becomes what it already was. And there's nothing more to say about it than just breathe.